Welcome back everyone to a very packed episode of our devlog series. This week has been pretty hectic with development. The biggest thing I focused on was making the ranged weapon fun again. It's been pretty broken recently, so I just took this whole week just to make sure it felt really fun to play. Before we get right into this video, I wanted to give a little shout out to our Patreons and our Patreon page. First off, I want to give a big thank you to Delta for his $5 contribution to our Patreon page. Welcome aboard, we really hope you enjoyed the exclusive benefits, and in addition, thank you to Inconspicuous and Deathstroke for your contribution as well. If you're unsure about supporting our project, there are a couple of great benefits you can acquire, such as exclusive Patreon posts, direct influence to the project, and recognition that you are a Patreon. In addition to that, you get shouted out in every single video we make, just because we really want to show you guys that we are very thankful for your contributions. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. This system has been a major sore in the project's butt for a while. With the rework of many systems, ranged combat took a backseat as we focus on other sides of this project. Though with the rework of the combat manager, we thought it was a perfect time to rework the range mechanic. Before the rework, arrows would fall very short, they wouldn't hit the center of the screen, and they wouldn't even be able to do any damage to target. But with the rework finished, the bow can do all of these things and even better. We want the bow to be the catalyst for most of the systemic design changes coming in phase 2. We want the arrow to be able to interact with a bunch of new features such as strings, barrels, and other such objects like those. This is really important, and we don't want to skip out on this feature just because we know if we can get the systemic design to work with the bow, it's going to be really interesting to take back goblin camps. So firstly, when going into such a task, I wanted to make sure that the arrows felt fun and hit where you want them to. This was quite difficult and we are currently still struggling with it, so if anyone has any ideas on how to do it, leave it in the comments below. Anyways, the way we handled this is by using a sphere cast with a small radius to give us a bit more breathing room compared to just the ray cast line. This will allow for a small aim assist to occur if the crosshair is off target, though there is still a problem with this. If you aren't aiming at any current object, for example the sky, the arrow doesn't go towards the center of the screen due to it not having a point to fly towards. So again, if anyone has any ideas, please let us know in the comments below. The next step in making sure ranged combat feels natural was the effects on the bow. We want the player to actually shoot an arrow out of the bow and not have an arrow randomly fly out of a point. We had this feature like this way back in phase 1, but it was scrapped due to a couple bugs that we were having. Though with a bit of thought, it was a pretty simple system to add. We just instantiate an arrow whenever the pullback animation is played and destroy it when the arrow is fired, with a couple more checks to make sure that a couple of weird combinations of buttons weren't pressed and make the arrow glitch out. It all worked how we wanted it to. After handling the effects of the bow, it was almost complete. With a couple of bugs left to handle, we were almost ready to finish it up. The biggest one I wanted to handle was the hit effect. When hitting a damageable object with an arrow, an effect would be played to indicate a hit. Though with the way we handled this, the effect always just played in the center of the body, so when the arrow hit the head, limb, or other part of the body, the effect still only played in the torso area. The way we fixed this was pretty simple. We passed in another argument into our take damage function, giving it a vector 3 position to hit. With this position, we were pretty easily able to instantiate the effect wherever the hit occurred at, and it was really nice to see this happen. So after getting all of those to work together, the overall system, when played together, felt amazing to play around with the arrow being pulled back to the better arrow physics, and finally the effect relocation. The bow finally felt like a usable weapon again. Though there was still some tweaks and changes left to do, but we want to keep that a secret until we actually get those done. This is something that we really haven't shown the community as much, but we are very excited to announce it. We finally have a proper UI/UX designer joining the team. His name is Nathan, and he creates these beautiful looking UI elements for the health and stamina bars. With that, he also went on and created something that will be happening in the later phase, and that is the weapon abilities. Anyways, after getting a decent mood board set up and going through some amazing looking designs, we finally landed on the current UI element. It has the the perfect mix of simplicity and refinement with the amazing looking bars and the detailed emblem. It all just fits amazingly. A lot of the inspiration came from The Witcher. From the texturing to the bars to some of the other design elements, we really enjoyed how The Witcher had its UI set up. After working on the health and stamina bars, he started on a design for the weapon switching elements. At the moment we just have 2 icons, but hopefully once he's done we'll have something that will make the UI just pop and overall feel more refined. So go give him a big thank you in the comments down below. This is a section I'm really excited to start implementing. With the combat being in a good state at the moment and the growing urge to try and make the AI as fun as possible, I thought it was a perfect time to start handling the AI system. After some more thought being put into which system we will be using to handle the AI, I finally settled on behavior trees. Though I could have handled this in the same way I handled AI before with a finite state machine, but with my track record of finite state machines, I didn't really want to try and make the AI for the 4th time using the same system. One of the biggest reasons I chose a behavior tree instead of the finite state machine was because of the modularity it presented. I always had issues of making one state be able to be used by multiple different agents, and this isn't really an issue with the behavior trees. Of course, this is all due to my expertise and the amount I knew about finite state machines at the time, but I just think behavior trees are much more modular and much more interesting to play around with. So on Saturday I really sat down and started getting my feet wet with AI. I did this on a separate project so I wouldn't have to worry about messing up something in Windshire, and after about 15 minutes of tinkering I was able to get someone to wander around and chase a target. Though the asset I was using already has some simple actions like go to a game object, walk to a point and get a random point on an object, so I mainly used those for just getting started. Though I wanted to try my hands at creating custom actions due to the fact that I would have to do this for Windshire. So after about another 15 minutes of stumbling through these examples, I was able to have an agent chase an enemy, but I was stuck on how to get the enemy to run away from the target. This wasn't as much as a behavior tree issue, but more of a nav mesh issue. I still got stuck on it, and I ended up just making it move away from the target at a set distance to the top left of the target. This isn't exactly what I wanted, it worked to get my knowledge started. The next day I really wanted to get a better solution. I ended up making the object at a random point on the ground and just checking if the object was over 5 units away. If this position was over 5 units away, the target would move to that location, essentially running away from the target. I still have a lot to understand before attempting to make a solution in Windshire, but in the next coming weeks we should have an intelligent AI system set up and attacking the players, so that's going to be really interesting to look at. First off, I want to congratulate Carl for finishing up schooling and getting a degree in computer science with honors. Great work, man. I'm really excited to see what we can do in the future. Anyways, now that Carl's able to focus on finishing up the quest system, the first thing we handled was adding in kill quests. Before, the location quests were the only quests that we were able to set up. He finally got the kill quests working too. After doing some quick adjustments to how the entity spawner kept the information of the entities that were spawned in, he was able to use that to keep track of which entities were killed by the player. Though this is just the start of the questing system, we're really excited to see it all put together and working with the other systems in the project. So give him a big congratulations in the comments below, and while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to tune into next week's devlog. While we worked hard on getting the ranged weapons and questing to work, Perforator worked on some gorgeous models. First off, he started with creating a beautiful array of fences we can use in our project. There are about 7 different fences with about 4 different color variations, so we're really excited to use them in Windshire. In addition, he modeled up a gorgeous looking fish model that we're going to be using to fill our oceans and lakes, and later on I asked Perforator to create a new arrow model. Due to the one we were using being really weird in the rotation direction pointing forward, he created this model in a few minutes and it's perfect for what I needed. After creating the arrow, I wanted to update the bow's model, and it's been the same bow for a very long time, so after giving Perforator some references, he got to work on 3 different rigged bows. They all look fantastic, so give him a big thank you for working and providing these beautiful models for our project. So that's all I really have for this video, so thank you for everyone who tuned in towards the end. I know it's been quite a long episode this week, but we finally got back into developing this project at full speed, so be expecting more meaty videos for a bit. And if you guys aren't already subscribed, go down below and subscribe to the Hive. We are about 500 subscribers away from 2,000. It's going to be really amazing if we can hit that goal. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.